Well, hello, family and friends, and welcome to the Ever Better Talk Show with your talk show host, Wanda J. Prowell, educator, author, and speaker, bringing you this afternoon issues of the heart for the young and wise. As we continue the opening of back to school, I promise you on our last show that on today, my friends, a critical but very necessary topic will be discussed entitled The Home Learning Environment. Yes, the home learning environment. Your home learning environment for your students, for your children. This information will not only benefit parents of school-age children, but also teachers and adult college students. You know, last year, COVID-19 in-person learning took everyone by surprise. I mean everyone. But this year, parents, let's collaborate to make home a more effective option for your child's academic and career success. Yes, my friend, today's focus on the Ever Better Talk Show is the home learning environment. And you will learn from today's talk show how does home environment affects learning? What is a positive learning environment? And how parents can create environmental safety for learning, guided behavior and support, and physical and emotional health accountability. Oh yes, just think for a moment, parents. Have you ever given thought to whether the State Department of Education gave school districts and teachers specific guidelines and mandates for creating and maintaining a safe, healthy, and inspiring educational environment? Well, as visitors enter the school and observe the classrooms, know that they are not just beautifully decorated classrooms. Every area, excuse me. Oh no, they are not just beautifully decorated classrooms. Every area of the classroom is related to a learning style for student learning. I'm fine, I just had a dry throat. But every area of the classroom, that includes the lights, even the color of the lights, the wall boards, the learning stations, the calendars, even the charts, games, computer, even the technology area of the classroom. Yes, every part of it is specifically designed with the learning environment in mind. Regardless of the child's grade level, every classroom learning environment projects the subject area, the grade level, and students' personalized IEP for the child's learning style. If you are not familiar with students or your child's IEP, well, just ask your child's teacher, and they will gladly explain to you all that is involved for the IEPs. And most of you should already be familiar with that because you would have had strategic parent conference, and I hope that throughout the COVID season that you were able to connect with your child teacher. And if you have not, please make an effort to do that because that will be very, 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 very important. Well, also today on the Ever Better Talk Show, I want to introduce to you the learning styles. The learning style. We've been hearing so much about the learning styles. Well, the learning styles refers to the most successful method by which a student learns, how they are able to effectively retain information so that they will be able to discuss, compare, and contrast the content information. It should not ever be one of those situations where an assignment was completed, or a lecture was given, and when the question is asked, what did we talk about, or to compare it, or to differentiate, it should never be, I don't know, or I don't understand, because that means that the child did not comprehend. So the learning style is going to help the teachers and the parents identify the information that the child was able to retain. Well, while we're talking about learning styles, there are three types of learning styles, my friend. The visual learners, auditory learner, and the tactile learner. And the tactile is also referred to as the kinesthetic learner. Well, from today's talk show, or I'm sure that you would identify, parents, your own personal learning style, and understand too, sometimes that may be a combination of the learning styles, but most importantly is that the parent, siblings, teachers, they may all have different learning styles. I may have different learning styles from my children, or you from your children, but that's why the personal learning style assessments are made at the beginning of each school year, so the teacher can plan her lessons to accommodate the individual student needs so that they can be successful. Stay with me now. At the end of this show, I will give parents some very easy parents resource links to access, that you'll be able to access and determine your child's learning style. Well, you'll be able to determine your own learning style too. But as a teacher, it was my priority at the beginning of each school year, or maybe the second day of class, no longer than the second day for sure, is to have my students participate in the same link that I'm going to give you. Because again, that enabled me to understand their learning styles. And as a teacher, it's not, it's not necessary at all, because people tend to teach how they learn. But by giving this learning style assessment, it enables the teacher and as a parent for you to understand how your child learns, because you want to make sure that while you're assisting them, and each individual child, again, may be differently, but you want to make certain that you are assisting them in the best practice of how they learn and return information. So I'll be giving that to you. Stay with me. At the end of this talk show, I'll give you the links for that. And it's very simple. Very simple. So, but now let's move on to the home learning environment. I have, my friend, a wealth. Can you tell I'm in my teacher mode? Oh, I just love this time of year. I have a wealth of knowledge to share with parents on this subject. But I am respectful of your time and your challenges. Therefore, I will prioritize what deems most important and efficient for this pandemic season. I love and care deeply for students. Yes, years ago, I want you to know, parents, I experienced many of your same stresses as a parent and a classroom teacher. So I understand. That's why, I am led to share this information with you today one-on-one, because if I had been, teaching still, I might have had some reservations of being able to share this with you. But today is a great day, and it's an opportunity that I can gladly and freely share with you information, helpful information that I believe will help your child and you have a successful school year. Okay, now parents are asking three major questions here regarding the home learning environment. The first question they are asking is, what is a positive home learning environment? Have you heard back in the past? Well, you've heard people say something about school is a learning, institution. It is not a babysitting facility. Well, let's go back now, because we want to certainly keep in our mind the home learning environment. So now the home learning environment, which is going to coincide with the academic learning environment there at school, and school and home, they must complement each other so that the students are successful. And the same for the parents and the teacher. Everybody must complement each other to make sure that we have a sure win for success. But what is a home learning environment? Well, a home learning environment at home includes the opportunities, all the opportunities your child has to play and interact with books, objects, and everyday experiences to help them make sense of their world. A good home learning environment encourages children and young people to have positive attitudes to learning, to be curious, and to have confidence in themselves. Keyword: confidence in themselves. Again, when home is reinforcing what's being taught at school and in the same environment, then the child is headed for success. Second question parents are asking: how does home environment affect learning? Well, Natalie in 1997 pointed out that as children grow beyond babyhood, a positive home learning environment provides social interaction, attention, and activities, which promotes the development of positive attitudes to learning. Oh, they just get so excited about learning, as well as the acquisitions of physical, intellectual, language, social, and emotional. Studies suggest that the cleaner, key point, parents, research suggests that the cleaner a building is, the easier it is to study and work. How about that? There's a relationship between cleanliness and the ability to study and work. A report entitled, and you can research this for yourselves, there's a report entitled Cleanliness and Learning in Higher Education. Cleanliness and Learning in Higher Education. You can Google that. Well, it was conducted by Jeffrey Campbell. He's a PhD chair. But it showed that the levels of cleanliness has a direct impact on the ability to learn. Have you ever thought about that? The level of cleanliness and hygiene in a building has a significant effect on the mindset of students. A dirty, neglected environment can increase the stress level and therefore impact negativity on concentration and retention. So, again, as you walk through and observe those school classrooms and you see things that are orderly and things are in place, you understand that it's just not the teacher's personality. These are direct guidelines issued and mandated by the State Department to ensure a healthy learning environment for all students. And what I'm sharing with parents today is that, again, home and school must complement each other for the student's success. And you're going to see where I'm going with this, because there have been so many times in all my years of experience, when teachers are with students every day, you learn them. You learn them. And when children, are in the morning during the first few classes, and they're sleeping, or they are, they are, and sometimes they could be sick. I understand that too, but sometimes just the atmosphere is making a difference. Or safe, or environment, or quiet environment where they're relaxed. All that contributes to the learning environment. So again, a dirty, neglected environment can increase stress, the stress level, and therefore impact negatively on concentration and retention for the child. Well, and also an unhygiene environment can cause illness among students, but also to the lecturers. Well, the big question again, the third question would be, as a parent, ask the question, well, what can I do? What can I do to enhance the learning environment at home for my child? Well, let's explore some mealtime and daily physical activity. Mealtime is important. That is part of your learning environment. The time that your family spends talking together is very important for your child development and well-being. Family mealtime has been shown to be particularly important time for this. No matter what age the child is, mealtime gives parents a chance to come together and talk about the child day, to review their activities. And physical activity, again, our focus today is the home learning environment. So whether or not you and your child are studying, it's a virtual learner, or maintaining social distances, a schedule is going to be important. We're going to talk about that just a little bit later. But being outside is another, and we're not talking expensive finances at all. But just being outside for all ages, whatever that activity may look like, is going to induce a positive learning behavior within your child. Well, allow me to draw your attention to 3 important vocabulary terms, parents. No matter how we shake the jar, at the end of the day, these same 3 terms will get you through. And as you are working with your children, whether preschool, elementary, high school, it's important that these terms are introduced. You introduce these terms to them and let them understand how these 3 terms are to be demonstrated, and how they have lifelong benefits. That's what I want to drive home. Lifelong benefits. And these 3 terms are, number 1 is resilient. Resilient, which is the ability to continue to move forward regardless of the circumstance. In other words, you don't give up. You try it again. You bounce back. Resilience. Okay, the second vocabulary term is tenacity. Tenacity. And tenacity is the act of being very determined. You're determined. You're persistent. You don't quit. Whatever the assignment is, whatever the task is, and the coaches already, I'm sure they repeat this all the time. But students, as they pursue their course of study, need to understand, and it is a lifelong benefit, to be determined. Determined. You don't quit because you don't get the answer right the first time. You don't quit because you made a bad or low grade. You are persistent, and you are determined to do better. So our first term was resilient. Second term, tenacity. Our third term is assertive. Assertive. And if you are assertive, you are confident. You have a forceful personality. You volunteer. When you are assertive, That means you volunteer to do things on your own. If you are an employee, if you're in the classroom, when you go to the next level without someone, in other words, have to tell you everything to do. Some people could view that as laziness. Some people could view that as, a quitter. I'm not interested. But when even your employers or your teacher or whoever, your coaches, whoever, once they identify, once they observe that you have an assertive, that's ASSERTIVE, assertive behavior, that means that they are excited, they can trust you. You are about production. You are going to make things happen. So again, these three terms that are very vocabulary terms are very, very important. That gives you lifelong benefits. It's number one, resilient, tenacity, and assertive. And parents, I believe we all understand, and teachers and educators, how these three terms can be applied to the school day, in-person learning, as well as at home for the home learning for the home learning environment. Well, now keep these terms in mind as we discover their higher impact on the home learning environment. Please understand, my family and friends, that this is not the home learning environment. Oh my. The home learning environment is not about the quality of furniture or expensive supplies. It's all about utilizing the resources that you may already have for your child's personal engagement. For you and your child's personal engagement. Okay, well, we want to make sure that we are mindful of your time here. So just go with me. There are three areas, and while we are discussing the furniture, I want parents to just understand there should be a designated place, location in your home, whether or not you have a full, spacious size home, or you may be living in an apartment. And hey, it is what it is. Some people may not have a stable living situation right now. Some may even be in hotels. I don't know. And I pray that it's not. But the most important thing, there should be a designated area. If you have the space where you can deem a particular room as your home learning environment, I mean specifically now, not just the reinforcement of a certain subject area. I mean in terms like, if this pandemic turns around where your child would have to have in-person to be an in-person visual learner at home, where you can have the designated space. The most important thing it should be very obvious that this is a workplace, not just the living room or the movie room or the entertainment. We've got to separate the learning environment. It has to be a specific place. The difference between going to the library or going to the park, or a designated place. So parents start looking around, you may have used furniture, some school district may have, the overflow of discontinued furniture, or even if it has to be, a dresser or a tabletop, whatever the case may be. But this child needs to know, this is my area, this is my space. And that space will have to be, it has to be respected as a place of learning. This is not going to be, the chip and dip party table, okay? But you can determine whatever that will look like, whether it's a folding table or end table, whatever the case may be. It does not have to be new furniture, just as long as it is a designated workspace for your child. Okay, with that in mind, now let's consider these three major categories. Well, there are three categories that we want to discuss. As far as parents, again, creating the home living learning environment for your child. Well, let's consider parents. First of all, keep in mind again now, we want to complement at home of the same environment that's at school. And preferably, I'm thinking in terms of the type of environment that is conducive to learning. We're not talking about the yada yada stuff, but the environment that is conducive to learning, the environment that promotes learning, the environment where each individual student, according to their own learning style, is able to comfortably engage and begin to focus and retain the information without interruptions. Without interruptions. Keyword, without interruptions. So the first category would be the environmental safety and learning. Environmental safety and learning. Environment is everything that's around us. The child, again, is no longer in school. Our focus today is the home learning environment. Now, the environmental safety and learning for the home environment is a parent-controlled workspace. A parent-controlled workspace. Again, as I mentioned before, it could be a table, whatever the child's personal workspace is. This is a great time to collect, again, like I said before, small tables, or if you have several children on the same grade level, or just that they're working together, you may have a long folding table, where each one can is assigned each end of the table. They give them the ample space that they need, but they need to have their working space. Okay, supplies and writing utensils, all of that needs to be in the room. Whether you want to use a coffee cup or a drinking cup to put the pencils and markers, whatever you need. Parents, it must present a learning environment. Okay. Now, the health and safety. If these are children all from one family, then I understand that the protocol may be the same. But say, for example, if you are sharing and supporting another parent who may be working or whatever the case may be, assisting them with their child learning, then of course you want to follow through on all the safety precautions, because we want to maintain safety for not contracting any additional viruses. So parent, you will be in control of that as you coach your child for the correct procedures. Okay, now keep in mind again, environment. So the safety and health. And of course, depending on your school district, whatever technology they have issued the student for their work, whether it be the iPads or the tablets or the laptops, whatever the case may be, each child is going to work in their designated location, giving respect to the others for no interruptions. Now the lighting is important. Again, the schools, it's not just lights. It's important that the student, your child, is in a well lit room. Well lit. the entire area where they're working, whether or not it is an individual table lamp, but it has to be well lit so that they are able to not have eye strain. And they may have some visual difficulty, which you would know as parents for that. They need glasses and all. But lighting is important. Now, even more so, the noise. Again, at the end of this talk show, you'll be able to assess the link to determine your child's learning style, whether or not they are, visuals or auditory or tactile. But my point is that the music, the noise, whether this is, a lot of company visitors you have coming in, the noise, the conversations, the noise, whether somebody else is playing their special music, Now understand, hear me clearly on this now. There are studies and there are children who are able to study. They're able to focus more with music, but this is a soft music, and it's always music without words. Music without words, or music without the lyrics, just the music itself. And you want to be able to understand this to determine whether or not the music at all is an interruption, or does it complement learning and retention of information. But noise is a major factor. I've had students say many times, I can't study without music. I can't study without music. Of course, there are different students in different years I've taught. But the thing is that, you have to be respectful and not interrupt the coherence of the next person who's studying. And if there are visitors in the house, or the music and the loudness, whether it's whatever type of language, whatever's going on, the child is going to be able to focus more if the parent is sensitive and understand the child's learning style and how you can help your child have academic success. Okay? Because just saying, go in there and do your work, or have you finished your work, or that clarifies nothing if you don't understand how much retention has taken place. And sometimes you can ask those questions, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. You want to know, you want to see the completion of work. You want to know and ask the questions of the information they'll retain. And that's going to help you, again, guard their learning environment. Room temperature, that's important, if it's too hot, not like the Three Little Bears, it's too hot, too cold, or in schools, they students are able to shed off layers of clothes and put on layers of clothes, but at home, you don't want to have it too hot because they're going to get sleepy, and you don't want to have it too cold, but you want to have it just right. And again, cleanliness is going to be very, 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 very important. I wouldn't dare allow my students, even if we were short of staff, with the custodians, sick, wherever the case may be. Children learn when they're able to have dignity for their environment. If that shows to them, it's important. It demonstrates to them your care for their success, and more so the level of occupation that you vision for them. Yes. Oh my, so much to be said about that. Organization, the same thing is true. So once that little study period is over, whether or not it is an after school or assessment, or after school or homework time, or whether or not it has been a full day, At the end of each section, or it will be a personal responsibility of the student, your child, to take pride in their learning environment and the organization of their space. So once they leave it in the I'm ready type position, when they return the next day already, then it's going to embrace them. It's going to make them feel a level of integrity and a level of dignity for what they're about to become engaged in. So now, are you getting a better understanding about the home learning environment for the environmental safety for learning and how the parent controls the space? Yes. Again, now, mom and dad need to be working together on this. And all those who are visiting you, or even your visitors, or your friends, they know it's study time, or this is our schedule. We're going to talk about schedules, but the learning environment for environmental safety and learning. Okay, let's move on to the second aspect of the learning, the home learning environment, will be the learning behavior and support. A child's learning behavior and support. Child support. Okay? Meaning that the student parents, again, the parent is the ultimate supervisor over all of these categories, but the parent supervise. It helps the student to understand their responsibility for completing work, whatever that work may be. Parents, all parents, is a good thing, even though a lot of the schools and teachers, the assignments are electronically shared. But it's a good thing to have it written on paper or to rewrite it. These learning behaviors, or whenever a child writes something down, they can see it visually as well as they can hear you state it. But once they list it on paper to show what the assignment is or what the to-do list is, then they can see it. So therefore, when they begin to complete their work or to do their work, process their work, once it's been completed, and it's not completed just by them saying, I've completed it. When they say I've completed it, that means parent get a chance to come in, and I always called it I can't remember the word right now, but inspector. That's it. Regardless what I told my student, wherever I told my child, if I give any type of instruction, once they finish, I'll tell them, okay, then let me know so I can inspect it. Call in the inspector, because then I get a chance to look at it. I get a chance to critique it. I get a chance to give them some additional information, or I get a chance to tell them how it's maybe incompleted and how I can help them bring it up to satisfactory. So students' behavior, and not just the behavior. Also, number one is that you want to guide them in how to stay focused. They want to stay on the task. If it's time for them to do, and you want to have a little schedule written down now, you can get a poster board, paper, whatever the case may be. But that should be a time visual, and students are visual from the elementary to the high school, even college. A big sign on the wall that says, 7 o'clock we do this, or 8 o'clock we do this, or 8 o'clock, or 8:30, or whatever the case may be. But they have to see it, and they have to have a clock. That should be a clock on the wall in your learning environment. That should be a clock, so that they would know and they would understand, yes, this is what we do now, and this is what we do later, and this is what we do next, that type of thing, and to stay focused if they should be working on a particular type lesson, they should not be on their phone. As a matter of fact, it could be for parents, if you're serious about your learning environment, the phone just doesn't match. Now you get an opportunity to have a shared experience what the everyday classroom teacher has to work with, because there's no way you're going to be able to or remember the work for test day or to be successful if you have a divided attention and you're not able to focus on what you need to be doing. So parents take charge of command at this point, and you make sure that cell phone is in a separate place when they're supposed to be studying. Keep in mind, again, the home learning environment. They need to stay focused. They need to pay attention. They need to listen, or never give an instruction to them, or whatever the instruction may be, without asking them to repeat it to you, because they might have mistaken you to say one thing when you meant another. So you don't want to waste time on that. We don't want to waste time. So again, stay focused, pay attention, stay awake, no cell phone. You want to reread and check their work, and also patience. Patience is important. If you are assisting multiple children at one time, or even if you have to take a break and take care of something, help them to understand that patience is okay. Just wait a few minutes. You be back with them, or maybe you can get them working on something else until you can come back to answer their questions. But that's important. A schedule, again, clear instructions. And also always have a steady partner. While you're meeting with the friends, you get a chance to know the mom. Have productive conversation and engagement, and that is, or if whatever, can I just say weakness? Maybe weakness may not be a good word, but whatever subject area is challenging for your child, link with friends and relatives or another parents and the teacher to know who does, so you can collaborate and to assist each other. It does not mean that one person is going to do the other one's work. Most certainly not. But it does mean that just saying, I don't know how to do it, is not acceptable. That's what I want to say. It's never acceptable. Grades have to be documented. At the end of the year, again, all of this is about lifelong skills. Because if there ever any situations that we find ourselves in as future parents or teachers or educators, what the case may be, we just don't stop by just saying, I don't know how to do it. That is not an excuse. That is a poor character statement, but a good statement and a strong statement to say, well, let's research and find out the answer to this, or find out some people, support people we can get some answers from. Let me just call the teachers. Again, get to know your friends. And your friends, oh my God. Hey. Let's be smart. Good friends are not the ones who wear the cutest clothes. Good friends are not the ones who drive the sharpest car, or who has oh my goodness. Seek to learn friends who has the skill. Someone who's good in English, someone who's good in technology, someone who's good in math, all those kinds of things. Seek to engage with people with positive resources. Oh my, I really want to stay there. If we can accomplish that, that is a lifelong skill that would have continued repercussions. Okay, let's go on to the third one. Again, we've just finished the learning behaviors and the support, where parents are holding their student responsible for completing work successfully. Okay, now our third category for parents to consider for creating a positive home learning environment is the physical and emotional health. Oh, physical and emotional health of your child. This is where parental engagement for student accountability. The parents got to be involved 100 for student accountability. Let me just address some of these here. Number one, I won't say number one, here's one. Students' performance cannot excel in a hostile environment. See, when kids are, when students are at home in your closed-in environment, they either get on the bus or they are driven to school. The child child is dressed and have the lunch, have all the things they need to do a public presentation, to just show up. And there they are to be greeted by all their friends and teachers. But parents, when teachers work with students every day, a good teacher knows their students. Administrators know their students. They may not know every student by name, but when you see somebody every day, either at lunch or in the hall or certain time of day, you know them. Students' performance cannot excel in a hostile environment. In other words, fear. Children are not able to excel at school if they are in fear, whether it's bullying or school unsafe, storm, or there's been an intruder in the building. Fear is fear. Loud noises, screaming, and child can't concentrate. The loud music, even abuse, And if truth be told, many times, children undergo much devastating situations in the home environment than the school. Because schools are not perfect, but there is a readily accommodations for any type of violations. And forgive me, parents, but many times parents are on top of their game to identify, not saying that it's not important, but sometimes insignificant issues. And when the child is home, trying to prepare for the next school day, sometimes those needs goes unrecognized and denied. But parents, students' performance cannot excel in a hostile home environment. Again, students from every age thrives in a secure, loving environment with a helper, with love, mealtime, few to no interruptions, and encouragement. In other words, your home, hey, let's be real. You can live in the projects. You may be living in a trailer. That's a hallelujah moment. You may even be homeless and living in hotels for right now. But if you have a loving relationship with your child, we talk about the environment. where your child is. If your child is assured of your love, if your child is assured that you are concerned about them getting their work done and you're there to help them or help them go to the person who knows how or the information, you may not have the oh my goodness, you may not have the full dining room formal table type situation where everybody get a chance to sit around the meal, the family meal table and share the events of their day. You may not have a table. You may be sitting on the corner of a bed. But if whatever you're eating, that child senses love, understanding, you have their back, they are safe, no one is messing with them, that they have an encouraging environment. You're letting them know that it's not going to always be this way. You're letting them know that, hey, do your very, very best. Or you made a C, but hey, let's try for a B. If you are encouraging, they're going to be okay. That is a positive home learning environment. Please know that emotional and academic abuse is transparent. Let me say that again, because some people got it mixed up. Some people got it mixed up. They really feel if this child wears expensive clothing, a new hairdo, the most expensive shoes, that their emotional and physical encouragement has not been neglected. It's obvious. Money doesn't cover that up. But I want you to know again, you may not have the finances that you need, but your involvement and your care and your love shines, and your child's attitude shines. Please know that emotional and academic abuse is transparent. It's always obvious. Don't be too proud to talk to your child's counselor, parents. We know things happen. And I want you to know that, again, I cannot tell you enough. Your teacher is your best friend. Your teacher. You may talk to the counselor, you may talk to administrators. But, all information does not get transferred to the teacher. Build a positive relationship with your child's teacher, and you'll be able to share issues that will help them embrace your child. And one mistake that parents make, all parents, please don't ever send an angry child to school and on the bus. And if you should, keep it in the back of your mind and make a call to the teacher or a call to the counselor. You don't have to say everything, but you can say, well, Johnny wasn't having, especially your older teens, middle school, again, high school. But Johnny wasn't feeling well today. He was real upset when we just had a family issue. I just want to make sure he's okay, and that would just give them a little clue to kind of check on, to go to his classroom teacher, just peek through the window, just make sure that he's calm, because most of the time when a child leave home angry for whatever reason, they're going to take it out on another child, or they're going to take it out on another staff. So the home environment set the stage for some violence and interruptions. First, I just always, how in the world somebody going to be fighting in first period? How are you going to get to fighting at breakfast? Nobody has seen you since 3 o'clock the other day. What brought that on? Hey, it was something happened at home, something happened overnight. So parents, let's be sensitive in working with our students. And even if your child is being upset, see if you can have common words. I love you. I know that you don't agree with what had just happened, whatever the case may be. But I want you to bring it in now. Bring focus in. Bring it in. Don't take this to that school. Don't take this to your friends. Don't take this to your teacher. I want you to just lay that aside. And we'll talk about it again when we get home. And we'll see if we can figure things out. That may be a good way to kind of soften things down when you all depart. Again, the home environment. Okay, research has proven over and over again, regardless of the physical and mental challenges of children, those with loving and engaged parents grow to be kind and respectful adults. Many even go on to college and universities. Parents, be intentional for planning quality breaks and rewards. Whether or not you are your child's in a full-time virtual learning situation, or whether or not your child is able to attend in-person school days and homework and for the weekend. Of course, we have to all practice social distancing. It's very detrimental right now. But along with the learning environment, it's also a reward time. Reward the positive thing. You don't want to ever reward a negative. No. Reward the positive for whatever opportunity. And if you are at home, or your motivational speakers with your YouTube, utilize YouTube to reinforce some positive, inspirational, innovative career type teaching for social and personal development, as well as academics and careers. It's all there. That computer can open you up to a world of options, or as well as your pizza days. Be creative. Or have a cooking project that each of you can participate in. Just give your eyes a break from the computer, and just let them know that learning takes place in every area. Music, understand what's available in your community. All of that just so important. Okay, well, parents, I did promise you. I promise you that I will give you the link to of how you, as well as your students, can go to this link to assess your learning style. And also, I have some other good things there for you, too. In case we don't know how this year is going to go with the pandemic. But I have also provided some additional, this is for educators as well. This is good. This is good. I wouldn't give you anything that I wouldn't want to use myself. Believe me, this is valuable. Go to my website. Yes, go to my website at www.resolved the little dash 2010.com. That's www.resolved-2010.com. And once you open up my homepage, and if you look down, you're going to see parent resources, and I want you to click on the ones that says the home learning environment. And once you click on the home learning environment, all you have to do is just look at that page and click on it. It's going to say the learning style assessment, and as well as some additional educational resources there. But it's very simple. You will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. And once you click on that link for what's your learning style, it's going to give you so much more. But I want you to make sure you go to the student assessment, or it may say self-assessment. Then there are 20 little click on little questions. It's fun. You're going to love it. Your kids going to love it. But then you will be able to determine whether you are a virtual learner, whether or not you are auditorical learner, or if you are a tactile learner. And that is going to be the diamond or the gold mine for where you go from here. Okay. Well, look here. I am Wanda J. Prowell, your family resource, author, educator, and speaker. I have brought to you today issues of the heart for the home learning environment. I pray that you have been encouraged, my friends, to know that your parental engagement and supervision will have a positive outcome for your child. Always pray and meditate on Proverbs 22:6. Now, we didn't do a lot of scripture today, but it's not how many. It's the effectiveness of it. And it's not the hearers of the word, but the doers of the word. Yes, yes. That's why you want to reap those benefits. So Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. God is faithful, my friend, and he cannot lie. While you are sharing, and I hope that you will, share this video with multiple friends. And don't forget to visit my website homepage at www.resolved-2010.com for your today's parents resources. Just click at the top right corner and you will see the home learning environment. Well, please also, my friend, subscribe to my Wanda Prowell Teen Family, Teen Parenting YouTube page. Oh, yes, 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 yes. This video and many of the others, they're all in one little playlist. But if you go to YouTube and just type in the search bar, Wanda Prowell, you're going to see several Wanda Prowells comes up. But click on the one that says the one that's going to say Teen Family and Teen Parenting. Well, and there you'll be able to share all of my Real Talk life issue videos. And they are free. Everything is free. Everything is free. This is for your teens, your mentors, your educators, parents, teachers, pastors, whoever, wherever there are young people and young adults, teen dads, teen pregnancies, all of that is there. They're free just for your clicking. Well, until our next show, do know that I love you. Stay safe. Stay blessed. And God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. God bless.